The project setup phase is really the foundation for the project, defining the scope, stakeholders, resources, and governance. And it brings a level of clarity to everyone involved in the project and brings an alignment before moving on to the next ADDIE steps in the workflow. To kick off a project, we're going to be meeting with the stakeholders and collecting all of the structured or unstructured project information. Then we're going to be putting that information into a project setup form that's going to be capturing the project scope, business needs, stakeholders, timeline, resources, and risks. This form is very structured and will guide you as to the information that you need to gather. When filling out your form, you can just copy over your meeting notes. It doesn't need to be great writing, just clear and easily understood. Next, N8N, our workflow orchestration and automation engine, will use all of that form data to create a templated and well-written AI-generated project information document. It's also going to create for us a project in Notion. With our project created in Notion, we have the ability to review this document before triggering an email to be sent to stakeholders. With that workflow completed, we have for us generated a project information document. This is the document that covers all of the scope, deliveries, governance, milestone, and risks. And then we have a project workspace that's created in Notion where we're going to store all of our documents that are related to this project. Now that I've given you this overview, let's see this workflow in action. Here we are in Notion, and you can see I have a database here called projects. This is the database that is going to contain all of our L&D projects. No projects are listed here because we haven't created one yet. So I'm going to go over here to Create Projects Now link, and this is going to bring me to the Create Project form. After your stakeholder call, input all of the information that you have on this project in this form. This form also serves as a guide to help you know what kind of information you should be gathering by prompting you with some questions. This form also has drop-downs. These are predefined training descriptor options that would be set up by your training organization. Each of these options has an official definition that's housed in the VectorStore database and are pulled by the AI throughout this workflow. Now, if the learning and development lead has any questions when they're filling out this form with all these different options, they can go over here and click on this link that's going to take them to the learning and development documentation within Bookstack. Here you're going to find all of the terms defined right here. Now, this page in Bookstack just displays the official terms of your training organization. The real source of these terms and what feeds this page is actually in our terms database in NoCodeDB. If you need to propagate definition changes in this workflow, you're going to do it here. This database is used as the single source for feeding the Bookstack page that's going to assist your L&D team, but it's also the source for populating the VectorStore database used by the AI in this workflow. If your team wanted to pull the latest terms and definitions into Bookstack, all they would need to do is click on this link right here. And you can see that the workflow terms have been updated back into Bookstack. Now, if I go ahead and reload this page, then you're going to see we're on a new revision, and we can check the versions of this by clicking on here, revisions, and you can see that this is the one that we just created right now 1 minute ago. Setting up all your training term definitions in NoCodeDB as an initial step, then loading those definitions into a vector store for the AI to access throughout this workflow helps to provide the AI context, which ensures a more reliable output. Basically, it makes sure that you and the AI are on the same page. So I've gone ahead here and pre-filled out our project form. You can see the title of our training is Becoming a Key Contributor, Building Trust and Collaborative Relationships. The project definition here, you can see I'm answering these questions here, but I'm just providing bullet points. And that's enough. If it's clear and concise, it's enough for the AI to go through and pull all the necessary information to build us our project information page. For the project that we're developing here, you can see from the project definition that we are targeting developers in the Bangalore studio to work better with Western clients. We want them to gain soft skills in communication, managing expectations, and keeping commitments. And our goal for them is to help those developers to stand out in their role and to be seen as key contributors. Now, I go over that with you because I want you to be able to see the output that the AI is able to generate based on our inputs. And one thing that I want to point out here is that I have a misspelling right here in my project definition. And that doesn't matter because our AI is going to have enough contextual information to know that that's an incorrect word. So you don't have to worry so much about little typos here and there because the AI is smart enough to figure it out. So just a couple other things I want to show you in this form is that this is a soft skills training. It's required. It's a multi-day training. The modalities is formal, informal, and experiential. We have a instructor-led, but we're also going to have a learning management system component to that. You can see I filled out the stakeholder overview. I've put in the stakeholders that I've been working with. I also have a stakeholder strategy. I have the stakeholder communication channels that I've selected here from the drop downs, and I have some critical milestone and deadlines. You can see that there are some fields here that I don't have filled out, and that's okay because they're just going to have blank spots in the form or it's going to omit them completely. And lastly, I have risks and mitigation strategies filled out here. And with all of that, I'm going to go ahead and click submit. So after submitting our workflow, the automation is going to kick in and start building us our project information document and also our project inside of Notion. So let's head over to Notion and watch that happening in real time. So here inside of Notion, you can see it's created our project for us. So if we click into that, you can see it's given us a title, and you can see we've got a project overview, scope, and impact. It wrote all of those based on the information that we provided. It's created for us a project detail page that has a lot more in-depth information. You can go down here and you can see that it's starting to build out a place for all of our documents, our analysis, design, topics outline, and our lesson plan. You can see that it's created an emoji for us and put it at the top of the page here and filled in all of these fields that we need. So let's go ahead and click into our project details document. And you can see here that it has the project overview, scope, and impact. It also has our stakeholder roles and communication section. This is all the information that we've already put into that document, and it's structured it in this really nice and concise way here. We also have milestone and deadlines with all of those dates, training and support team assignments. We also have risks and contingency planning here. So what's happening here on this last section is that the AI is going to give us some feedback on our project. So you can see here that it's telling us that we should add in additional support for HR and IT, which we didn't fill that out, so that's great feedback. Also, to strengthen our communication strategy to increase learner engagement and participation through diverse channels and interactive content. So that's some great feedback. This section is meant to give you feedback and then to delete before you send it out for stakeholder approval. So let's go ahead and go back to our project. And you can see here, as a last step, the AI has created for us a background image that we can see here in our thumbnail and here in our project view. Now, this is the really critical human in the loop step that needs to happen before we send this off for stakeholder approval. This whole project that's been created, and especially this project details document, needs to be reviewed and made sure that it is accurate and it has all of the information that you need. Once that human in the loop step has been completed and you've reviewed the document, you're now ready to send this document over to stakeholders to get approval. So to do that, you go down here in Notion and there is a link here to create an email draft. So if you click on that, then it's going to bring up your email client and it's going to build for you an email draft that you can send to your stakeholders that has all of that information. So you can see that step 5 here that should be deleted. Let's delete that. And then you can write a note here at the top and decide who the recipients are and send that off for approval. Now, this format that you see here in this email, which is the same format in the project information document inside of Notion, are both a result of the pre-built AI prompt that's located inside of Bookstack. Bookstack stores all the AI prompts across the full workflow. When the automation runs, the AI agent is pulling from these actual documents inside of Bookstack. This allows you to make tweaks to your final output format and the direction that you give the AI without needing to dig through your automation workflow nodes to make the changes. The last thing that I want to show you is that the form that you filled out to kick off this workflow is saved inside of NoCodeDB. So if you click on this, you can see this is our form that we filled out with all of the information. If we needed to recreate a new project, let's say make some modifications here and save a new version. So let's say it's not Bangalore, but it is in the USA here, then we could save this record. We would have a revision history right here. You can see it's been changed from Bangalore to USA. And then if we wanted to create a new project, all we would have to do is click this create button and it's going to create a new project for us inside of Notion. With our project setup complete, let's move to the next ADDIE automation workflow phase, and that is to create an analysis document.